Hello, everyone. So, as you can see on the television, it's a scam. It is a scam. That's the sentence I heard when the first time I pitched my technology to the water boards in the Netherlands. That's not the word I expected to hear, because the night before, I was dreaming about how they will receive me once I will tell them I will be able to control the algae, which is a very bad thing in surface water, and also the bacteria by using nothing else than low-power ultrasound. I seriously expect they will hug me. They will say, Yousef, the Steve Jobs of the water, where have you been? But instead, they told me it's a scam. And I thought, after 3 years of development, they don't understand it. Let me go and let me try it at an exhibition. So I went with my small team back then to Wasser Berlin. It's a very nice water exhibition in Germany. And over there, everyone was super enthusiastic. I got a lot of compliments. They were wondering how I came with the invention. But at the end of the day, no one bought it. So we came back. I was angry, frustrated. What's wrong? What are we doing wrong? We have spent about 3 years in development with different universities in Europe to come up with this invention, this small ultrasound transmitter, which will change the water industry. At the end, again, zero impact. So we decided, let's take a look at our offering to the market. And we saw we are offering our technology to cooling water, to lakes, to reservoirs, swimming pools, cooling ponds, whatever. If there is water and there is sun, our innovation will be implemented there. And that was wrong. Because, let me see where we are. If everyone is your customer, no one is your customer. That took me about 4 years to discover. Because what was happening, we were so much in love with our technology, but we didn't know who is our customer. So we went back to the research department and we said, okay, let's reinvent our innovation, but let's focus on one type of customer. And for us, that was the water utilities, drinking water companies. Because simply, if they have an algae problem, they have to solve it with the chemicals. If we could reduce the chemical for them, that means it will be a higher ROI and they will implement the technology. So we redesigned the whole invention. From a small transmitter, we included solar panel because it needs to be installed in the middle of the lake, but also we implemented real-time water quality sensors because they needed to see which kind of data we are having, so they will be able to see if the technology has an impact. And that was the invention by itself. It was still the core thing in the whole product, but the product became much bigger. And then we didn't go to the exhibitions. We didn't go to the end users. We went to the innovation managers. We started calling them one by one. Hello, we have a new invention. And then one of them from United States, the largest water utility, American Water, he told me, like, Yousef, you are struggling for the last 3 years to do a large-scale installation. You have faith in your technology, I will give you the option. If your technology will work, I will make sure everyone knows it. And if your technology will not work, I will make sure everyone knows it. And we had a deal, 50-50 deal. So he will pay 50% after 1 year, 50% if it will work. And it works. Nowadays, after 10 years, we are active in 69 countries. We have 4 offices around the world. We have some serious impact on the water industry, and ultrasonic algae control became an accepted technology. But it took us 10 years. So the question is, why is it hard to scale up sustainable businesses? And you have the obvious, regulation, financing. But let me look back and learn from my journey. Why it needed 10 years to be where we are now. And I call it the three unknowns. So the 3 unknowns is, first one, an unknown company or an unknown entrepreneur. If it was Elon Musk, which is promoting the technology, or if it was Google coming up with the technology, it was easy. People will know them. They will trust them. But it was LG Sonic with a man named Yousef Yousef. So it's too much risk to just go with it. Okay, then let's take a look at the second unknown, the unknown technology. If I was selling just a little bit better chemical, I think there will be no problem. Because everyone will trust, okay, we know chlorine is working, so that's just a little bit better chlorine. But instead, I was coming with a completely new technology. The technology you are using to know the gender of the baby, now I'm telling the water industry, with this technology, you will be able to control the algae. So that's the second unknown. And the third unknown is the unknown giant, which it can be from regulation to supply chain, to the supply chain challenges you have to overwin. In our case, the water utilities, they didn't have a month, they were built on paying monthly to the chemical company to come and to treat the lake. So they didn't have the big capex or the big amount of money they could upfront pay me for hardware. But by being creative, we figure out a ways to maneuver through it. So I will not go into how we win it, but to give like some advice to the entrepreneurs. The first advice is how to overwin the three unknowns is go out of your office. Don't be in love with your technology. We really know how great it is, but if it doesn't have an impact, if it's not implemented worldwide, it's not a great innovation. Innovation is not about the technical breakthrough. It's about how many people are implementing your technology. So that's the first thing. Go out of your office. Go meet people like here. And go and meet the corporates. You will need the corporates. They will be your ambassador. They will give you a very strong but very clear feedback how to get your innovation into the field. That was, in my case, the biggest win, working with American Water. The last one is, of course, it's very good with the innovation to go and work with the universities. That's where it starts. But you need, again, to go and win prizes. You need to go in this kind of events to show the people you really understand the customer need and you will be able to communicate the customer need. So what is our impact? What is our impact? This is, by the way, not a Photoshop picture. That's a lake in the Netherlands after about 1 year of treatment. And the impact, of course, financially, we became very healthy. The company is growing. And we were extremely happy with the financial results. And also, technological-wise, we are receiving 50 million data points per year from different water boards and different water bodies around the world. But maybe looking back, was it worth it? Was it worth it to go through the whole 10 years of suffering, hardworking, tears? And I will say, for the most of the people, no. If you know only 2 out of the 10 companies will make it, it's your question to be an entrepreneur and to go the long, difficult road. If I will tell you only 2 of the parachute will open while we will jump 10 off from the plane, how many will jump? I don't know. But if you are crazy enough and you really believe your invention can have an impact, then yes, it is worth it. Let me share with you the last story, which really made me believe in what we were doing. In 2018, I got a call from the government of Dominican Republic. They told me that the main water source of the water of the capital is contaminated with algae, the cyanobacteria. And it is a large project, financially extremely nice. The same night, we opened a bottle of champagne to celebrate it. But then I went to the site, and when I saw how much it was contaminated, and that we were the last option for them, because the water treatment plant couldn't handle the contamination anymore. I went back to the company and I told them, this is not anymore about us proving that the technology is working. It's not about the financial gain. This is about what we have always said on all these stages. We would like to create impact on human lives. That's our chance. So after 3 months of really hard working, close working with the government, they did an amazing job. I went there again. And this is my hand with a bottle of water. It was clean. And that's why it's such an amazing thing to believe in the dreams. And if someone will tell you it's a scam, then you will know. If you will work really hard for the next 10 years, you can have a huge impact. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Annie, and I'm so honored and excited to be with you here today. This is where I was born and raised. It is San Francisco, California, the Silicon Valley, the heart of technology and innovation. This is a place where billions of dollars of investment are put to build some of the most cutting-edge technology our world sees. But this is also what California looks like. We are plagued by drought and are at the forefront of experiencing the effects of our global climate crisis. For 5 years, from 2012 to 2016, we experienced the most severe drought on record, where 13 of the driest months on records occurred. And in 2021 to 2022, we were back again in severe drought. This led to degraded drinking water quality, to widespread tree deaths, air pollution from wildfires and dust storms, harmful algal blooms that threaten our aquatic ecosystems, and beyond. Yet California also produces 1/3 of the United States produce and has a $59 billion agriculture economy. My nation's food systems were in the hands of a beautiful community that was ravaged by a lack of water. How could I be living in a place that is pioneering the future, but there's not even enough water to feed today? This is what brought me to Get to Work, combining my love of technology and innovation with my passion for creating a more sustainable and a more efficient world. Starting with society's most foundational sectors, industrials. I could not wait any longer. And so my name is Annie. I'm the co-founder and CEO of H2Ok Innovations, where we've created our proprietary AI and advanced sensor technology to unlock faster factories for our partners, creating efficient, competitive, resilient, and sustainable manufacturing. I founded this company with my older brother and CTO, David. We grew up in a generational manufacturing background. One second. Yeah. We grew up in a generational manufacturing family, going to the factory floor and seeing firsthand how these manufacturing plants are run, but also, frankly, a lot of the areas of inefficiencies that exist and areas of opportunity for innovation. And as we grew up, we became passionate about applying data-driven insights to modernizing society's most foundational sector. Manufacturing and industrials make everything we eat, we use, we wear. Yet it is also one of the biggest producers of global greenhouse gases, one of the biggest consumers of key natural resources, consuming 19% of global fresh water, and time again, one of the most chronically under-innovated and under-digitized sectors that exist in our world today. And at H2Ok Innovations, our mission is simple. Our AI and sensor technology enables digital manufacturing to run factories smarter, that are more efficient, and that are more sustainable. And through AI, we're pioneering smart manufacturing at H2Ok Innovations, driving sustainability, driving efficiency, and resilience across our critical global supply chains. Our AI ingests 1 million data points per second. And with our cutting-edge platform consisted of a network of our advanced sensors and patented sensors deployed in pipes and also in equipment across factories, where we are unlocking never-seen-before data that is unprecedented on material chemistry and quality in real time, to our edge AI models driving real-time process optimization to our factory analytics software, H2Ok Insights, we're working with multinational enterprises dominating the global manufacturing sector, from Unilever, who recognized us as a top startup supplier of the year out of 52,000 suppliers, to AB-Inbev, to the Coca-Cola Company, who I'm so excited to be here at the Love Tomorrow Summit with, to Danone, Colgate-Palmolive, Givaudan, DSM Firmenich, Team Marzetti, to one of the world's largest tech companies across their hyperscale data centers to improve cooling and water use efficiency. And at H2Ok Innovations, we're pioneering a term we coined called precision automation in manufacturing. Our patented technology unlocks previously untapped data on real-time quality, chemistry, contamination, and waste, and deciphers that into simple controls that cut down equipment inefficiencies by up to 50%. And so, for example, imagine you are a cosmetics company. Our sensors are attached on your pipes across your factories, and these, with the use of AI, reduces your water, your energy, raw material, and product wastage, and also cuts down on your equipment inefficiencies and the time it takes for you to make a given batch of product to increase your production output. Another example, AB-Inbev, for example, needs to clean their equipment every time they change the type of beer they brew. And our technology reduces the water needed in that process by 24%. And while my work is global, where we're driving economic value while enabling a more sustainable and efficient use of water, energy, chemicals with our partners in all corners of the world, from here in Belgium to Poland to Japan to Brazil to Mexico, the United States, I get to pay it forward back to my community of California, enabling us to work together through corporate startup partnerships to use our precious resources of water and energy in a more responsible manner. And through our technology, I'm so proud to say that we've saved over 25 million liters of water and 500,000 kilograms of scrap product food waste, enough to feed 300,000 people for a day. And as a young woman founder of color, in a space where only 2% of global venture capital dollars go to women CEOs, I've raised $19.2 million from venture capital investors for H2Ok Innovations. Those same dollars in my home community funding technology, but this time to address our global sustainability challenges. Most importantly, I'm so proud to stand here today as proof that as young people, we can take control of our futures today. This road is not easy. We will encounter systemic challenges, but through vision, through innovation, through creativity, through resilience and empathy, to respect and collaborate with people of all diverse backgrounds, we can rise together. For me, this is my vision. At this pivotal moment, especially with AI, we are on the cusp of the fourth industrial revolution. And we need to come together to create solutions that work and that make sense. In the face of our global climate crisis, coupled with COVID making work harder to be done in a traditional manual intensive way, now is a time that is ripe for disruption. It is critical to make sustainability work for both people and planet. Sustainable for operations, sustainable for workers, sustainable for business, and sustainable for the earth. I'm proud to be on the forefront of driving this in our foundational sectors of global manufacturing through ingenuity and innovation. And together, we can leverage the power of technology and partnerships to make our world a more sustainable place. So I'll see you out there in the battlefield to make this vision a reality. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. So happy to be here. My name is Marian Keppens. I'm the R&D VP, one of the R&D VPs of Procter & Gamble, a multinational company with strong presence here in Brussels. And I wanted to tell you a little bit more about the work we're doing on sustainable innovation. I will not be doing that on my own. I'm the R&D VP in digital innovation and also the site leader of a site here close to Brussels, Strombeek-Bever. And you see some pictures here. Yes, I see some people present here. Great to have you here as well. We have more than 1,000 people working there, and about 800 people are really scientists and engineers because we really want to invest in driving innovation. We'll share with you a case study. My colleague Franz Beznik will be doing that for me. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of an introduction of what we really stand for and why this work is so important to us. As you could see, I don't know if it's visible, we work on many different products called fast-moving consumer goods. And the beauty of fast-moving consumer goods is that people use them every day. We've been counting like every 6 seconds, somebody is using one of our products. The beauty of that is that we can delight them. We can really make them have fun with it or just enjoy the outcome of it. And you may think like household products, because that's indeed what you see there. Yes, household products. It's amazing how many times in a family event people ask me about what's the best way of doing the dishes or getting the laundry clean. It is a really important thing. If you get it wrong, it really frustrates. If you get it right, people can get delighted. So that's what we're here for. That's why we invest so much in R&D innovation. Now, what we really want to do is, the next thing we need to think of is not just make our products superior. We actually call it irresistibly superior, which means if they use it, they say like, I love it. I don't want anything else than that. This was perfect. It gave me everything and more. That's what we want to design. And we want to do it in a sustainable way that drives value for our consumers and value for stakeholders. The sustainable thing is what obviously is the key challenge of how to combine that with creating the best outcome. And that's why we're having to up our game in technologies. And we started designing a lab, we called it ISUHO. With the help of EFRO funding, we're basically creating our own sensor AI lab, basically a studio. It's open for innovation, so it will be open as of October, and we certainly invite you to come and work with us, to do contact us. But it's basically a lab that not only brings in consumers to go and try out their products and either cleaning the floor, doing the dishes, doing the laundry, but it has then machines and equipment that has sensors and AI equipped so that we can not only see how much they like it, but also we measure what they do, we measure what the chemistry does, and that gives us information, lots of information to design for even better products, even more sustainable habits. And when we talk sustainable habits, it means like innovation that enables you to, for instance, do the laundry in cold water, or do the dishes in cold water, or show cycles. It's amazing for products you use every day, what an impact that has on environment. So that's what we're here for, and that's what this lab will do. Now, we've done some pilots to show like, what does it help us when you have sensors to really evaluate what consumers do, what does it take to change their habits, and that's what we'll share a case study on now. I'll bring my colleague Franz Beznik to the floor, and he'll give you that case study. I'll give the floor to him.
I'm based in Belgium, and I lead sustainable innovation corporately for the company for the 5 billion consumers we serve around the world. P&G Belgium is leading the world, is one of the center of the world for sustainable innovation of P&G. That's really remarkable. I like to say that my obsession and my motto is in 3 words. And that's what I'm going to talk about. It's to make sustainable irresistible. There's many tactics and strategy to get sustainable through. I believe if we make it irresistible, it's going to be much, much easier. If consumers love it, it's going to be much, much better. On the fun part, I am a big fan of Tomorrowland. That's my 3rd time here. Usually I pay, so it's actually even better to be actually having a free ticket. And I'm even on stage, which I always dreamt about, but because I'm a DJ, non-pro DJ. So I'm like, that's the day of my life. With that, since we're in the Love Tomorrow Summit, I'm here to tell you that the homes we will love tomorrow are 50-liter homes. But there are homes that are running at 50 liters per person per day, but they feel like 500 liters. Make sustainable irresistible, make 50 liters feel like 500 liters. How we do that? I'm going to really articulate into 3 parts. 1, the science that we put behind to really understand how we can get there. where we are today, how we can get there, to the innovation we put in place and the impact. And we have a case in Los Angeles, because remember, Belgium is running the world. So I'm running from here, a pilot right now in Los Angeles, live, as we speak. I'm going to talk about that. And then I'm going to turn into the commercialization. How do we commercialize what we're doing? How do we drive campaign at scale for all these 5 billion consumers around the world? So this is this dream that you have on the picture. Now, where does it start? If you look at the left-hand side, this tells you how much water we drink, or how much water we use in the home. It's about 150 to 200 globally. If you look like left-hand side, you cannot even see that. Drinking water is 1% of total water you use in the home, literally, as consumers. 81%, more than 80%, is all about hygiene and cleaning. Cleaning yourself, cleaning your homes, cleaning your hair, cleaning your body, cleaning your laundry, cleaning your dishes. 80% plus. That 80% plus is P&G's business, basically. So that's why it matters. The second tells you how much of that, it's just not about water, it's about greenhouse gas, because that water, for the most, we heat it. We heat it to, laundry, we want laundry warm cleaning. We heat it because we want to have dishwashing going on, and hot water helps. We have hot water under the shower, so a lot of that water is hot. And it turns out that if you look through the lens of your home, about 20 to 25% of all of that water heating greenhouse gas emissions is actually in water. This is the second greenhouse gas emitter in the home. The first one is heating your home. The second is heating all this water. So that matters a lot. And then the third slide shows you that in P&G, because we're doing all of this laundering and cleaning, this is 80% of our footprint. So it matters to us a lot. This is just another schematic of looking at a footprint. If you look at, on the left-hand side, hand dishing, you've got the different parameters here. You've got the effect of raw materials on the top part, on the tip part of the food. And you see that big number, 90% of the footprint when you're dishing your dishes is driven by hot water. In laundry, and actually switching to short cycles in auto dishing is actually a massive effect, because 70% plus is actually linked to hot water. So hot water matters immensely. So let's talk about the science now. How are we going to measure how we are today doing, and how far are we from 50 liter, and how are we going to get there? And that's actually technology we put in all homes in a pilot in LA right now. We've got 30 homes equipped with what I call super connected homes, where we basically wire sensors on every stream of water, hot and cold filled everywhere. And what it does two things. It measures, obviously, the flows and how much water is being used, hot and cold, 24/7, passively. Those things are totally hidden. Nobody sees that. If you enter those homes, you don't see this. They are being connected. And the second thing is they actually, since they're in 24/7, you follow the water to follow the consumer. These are the guides we put, a main water meter at the main inlet, and then some of these Drupal's little sensors on the right-hand side, hot and cold feeds, so we can really get measurements with very high level of granularity. You see we're measuring it up to every 5 seconds. So we can really track water very, very narrowly and with high level of granularity. And this is the type of graphs you get when you have that technology in the homes. This is how granular you can actually be about the life of the consumers. So you can literally follow the consumer. So here we're looking at all of these different signals are actually representing a certain chore or a certain task that people are doing. So we're having showers. We're seeing dinner preparation with kitchen sink activated. We're seeing the dishwasher running after that. We're seeing, before going to bed, toilet activity. Okay. Okay, so I think, thank you for that. So that's the graph that you get once you put these little guys, basically. You monitor the life of the consumer, time T, 24/7. So when you have that technology and you really can measure all what's happening in the homes, and of course with consents of our consumers, you can then throw innovation in. And that's what we've done. You basically take 30 homes, and on 15 of them, half of that, you basically throw innovation. You throw products that we do. So you're seeing that in the kitchen, in the laundry room, and the bathroom, we've got some of these different products of P&G in the US. And then we also put new appliances, faucets, and showers. So we really try to understand the effects of products and appliances all together. How does that drive? How might that drive better living? And that's what we're finding. In the kitchen, what we're really trying to do is to create the most effortless and fast dish cleaning. So we're not telling people, please stop the flow of the faucets, because that really matters. No, we're just giving innovations that actually make them turn to the dishwasher, because now they can turn the dishwasher without the need for rinsing. Literally, the cleaning is so superior that they don't need to, rinse off these plates before putting them in the dishwasher, and it works. And as they do that, this is much simpler than actually doing the dish at the faucet. We've actually out-innovated a new product, a sprayer, which is the new in a category, which basically literally doesn't need water to wash. You put your plates in the sink, you just spray that. It's going to work in front of your eyes, dissolve the stains and the soil. All you have to do is do the water for the rinse. And guess what's happening? People are not turning on the faucets in the US anymore, whilst the habit, which is absolutely ingrained forever and ever in the US, is that running flow tap continuously to do dishing. But now they don't want to do that, because if you put some water on top of that foam, it kills the foam and it kills the effect, because it works in front of their eyes. They don't want to put the water. They just want to put the water for the rinse. And that saves 34% hot water in total in the kitchen. And we've seen also huge reduction of using time at the kitchen sink, because of course, if you don't need to spend all of this time with under the running flow rate, and also you put a lot of jobs into the dishwasher and not at the kitchen faucet anymore, that's all this time you actually save for yourself. And so people are thanking us for that. So it's not a story about, please turn off the tap and please do this or that. It's a story of giving innovations that is actually creating superior living that they actually want to be sustainable, just because that's the best way for them to work. By the way, they don't even know. We've not communicated, and we won't communicate before the end of the pilot about the data. They just don't know they're saving a ton of water. We don't want to tell that. We're just measuring that passively without them knowing. Same story on laundry. We actually turned them with some of our cold washing superior cleaning product called Tide. That's the flagship brand. It's the equivalent of Ariel and Dash here in Belgium. And with that, we basically enable them to switch all loads to cold, but it's again not a story of please run cold because it's so much better for the planet. No, what people are playing back to us is, oh my God, I've tried cold washing and it's so cool, I don't need to sort out the laundry anymore. Because in cold washing, there's no problem of color, dyes, transfers, or anything. It's just everything goes at the same time. It's so much more efficient. Mental load reduction, physical load reduction, and suddenly we produce astronomical savings of 55% less hot water and minus 22% water per washing machine cycles, thanks to the combination of Tide that helps them drive to cold washing and the more efficient washing machine. And again, they don't know they're saving all of that water. They're just enjoying their life better. So I'm looking at I'm not going to go room by room, but altogether we're demonstrating right now that in Los Angeles, in the fifth economy of the world, in the US, literally fifth economy of the world is California, we can run at 87 liters per day per person, when actually Los Angeles runs at about 190. We can run at 87 and gives better living for the people. And you're seeing a range of savings we're demonstrating, including showers and toilets. I'm not going to talk about here today. So here's how we actually turn that into a consumer campaign.
70% of people find saving resources hard. Why? Life gets busy. So let's find out if the products you love can help you save.
Well, we do a lot of laundry.
Are you hearing?
Washing on cold saves me a lot of energy.
Clean hair, I don't see any flakes. And the packaging uses 45% less plastic.
Using these products, it's faster cleaning and it saves water.
Wow, this is clean.
Saving energy, water, and waste. Now, the products you love are made better and made to save.
So here we are. Major progress in Los Angeles, 87. We believe by the end of the full test, by October, we should be getting hopefully to 80, 70. Some homes are running at 50, so we demonstrate we can really run at 50 liters per day per person. And now we're moving to Europe and UK to scale that so that we can really, by the start of 2030, all the way to 2040, probably and plus, because there's a lot of homes in the world, we can actually scale the 50-liter home that actually gives better living. Thank you for your attention. Let's make the homes of tomorrow that we can love 50 liter. Thank you.
Hi there. Good morning. My name is Wouter. I lead sustainability and public policy for the Coca-Cola Company in Europe. And in the next 45 minutes, that's a joke, in the next few minutes, I will actually talk you through why the world belongs to the discontented and why actually what is driving Coca-Cola to innovate. I guess you know this, but we're also this. We're a total beverage company, more than 200 brands, 30 of which billion-dollar brands. We're in Europe since 1900, local production since 1919. Today, alongside our bottling partners, we run operations literally from Antwerp to Zagreb, directly employing 40,000 people through our value chain, supporting another almost 800,000 jobs. The syrup for Coca-Cola was made in 1886. So that means we're almost 140 years young, giving us ample opportunity to drive innovation and industry firsts. I'm going to give you a few examples. We were the first one in 1923 to introduce a six-pack. It was actually the first pack that also carried the sustainability message because the cardboard was strong enough to support multiple uses. 1933, the first automatic dispenser. The Coca-Cola Company has always been leaning in and leading on diversity and inclusion. We were the first company to integrate people of color in advertising in 1955. Our first diet drink in 1963, Tap. First soft drink in space in 85. And the first lightweighted PET bottle in 1991. A few examples of our track record on innovation and driving industry firsts. Now, I don't know the secret formula of Coca-Cola, but I do know that the key ingredient of our enduring success is our ability to respond to ever-changing consumer needs and societal expectations. But in order to keep our unique taste, in order to keep our unique connection with consumers, in order to keep our unique brand promise, we need to continue to evolve and adapt. Or in other words, for everything to remain the same, everything needs to change. I'm going to give you a few examples of the innovation areas that we're actually looking at. Ingredients. We know what consumers want. Consumers want great tasting drinks with more nutrition and less sugar. We have invested $100 million on sweetener innovation and sugar reduction research over the past 15 years. Today, 30% of our global volume are low and no calorie drinks. So we're actually looking for ideas and proposals that offer fundamental learnings about sweet taste, help to evaluate the sweetness intensity, and importantly, the quality of sweet taste. Packaging. Critical to stand out with consumers. At the same time, the #1 source of greenhouse gas emissions for the Coca-Cola system. So we want to reduce the environmental impact of our beverage packaging and support a circular economy for beverage packaging. That means that we want to work on all of the stages of that closed loop, like bringing less packaging material to the market by lightweighting our PET bottles and cans, supporting collection, including for disposable cups, enhancing recycling processes, for instance, by ensuring that for cans, lid and body of the can are made of the same alloy, or through label-free branding techniques, using more recycled material by upcycling waste streams. And then finally, water. We can make Coca-Cola without sugar. It's called Coke Zero. We can sell it without packaging, like in dispensed solutions. Coca-Cola without water is slightly more problematic. As water stress is increasing globally, water security is a global sustainability priority for the Coca-Cola Company. We continue to work to improve the water use efficiency in our plants alongside our bottling partners. And we were the first CPG company to come up with a commitment to actually return to nature more than the amount of water that we use in our finished drinks. We made that commitment in 2007. We met it in 2015, 5 years ahead of target, and we have maintained it ever since. 2023 came in at 148% of water replenishment. Hence, we are looking for initiatives and ideas around leak detection, for instance, about recycling and reusing water and treatment of effluent water, and obviously programs that support sustainable agriculture. Now, with dietary habits and environmental sustainability, the easy solutions are not always right, and the right solutions are not always easy. So we need a lot of new thinking, a lot of creativity. And actually, as I was preparing for today, I wanted to better understand what actually is driving innovation and creativity. And I was reminded of a book that I read a few years ago from Jane Goodall. It's hope. It's hope that is driving innovation and creativity. And I'm very glad to see that later today she will have a video message here at Live Tomorrow. For those who don't know Jane, she is 91 years old, a global renowned leader on nature conservation and animal welfare. And in her book, Jane explains that hope is actually fundamental to being human, as it enables us to believe in our future and overcome setbacks. But hope is not passive, it's active. It requires action to overcome challenges. Or as Jane calls it, the cycle of hope, taking action to make a difference, and by doing so, inspiring others. That line of thinking is close to another idea I picked up from Hannah Ritchie, which is a professor at Oxford and Scotland's Climate Youth Leader in 2022. And she actually splits the global population in people that believe that the world is changeable or not changeable, pessimists and optimists. And then she comes up with these 4 quadrants. Bottom right-hand corner, people think like the planet is doomed, there's nothing that we can do. Well, that doesn't get us very far. Top right-hand corner, people think like things will work out fine, there will be a deus ex machina, we can sit on our hands, it's going to be right, that's at best naive. What we need are the people in the top left-hand corner, people who think the world is changeable if we work hard for it. Or, as she puts it, optimistic but dissatisfied. And that, my good friends, is actually very close to what Rupert Woodruff, one of our most renowned CEOs at the Coca-Cola Company, said in the 1930s already: the future belongs to the discontented. And that's actually what Coca-Cola is all about. Optimistic, hopeful, forward-looking for a better shared future. So I'm going to leave you with 3 statements. All 3 are true. It's just a matter of figuring out what statement you side with, right? What resonates with you. So here we go. The world is a mess. The world is better than it has ever been. The world could be much better than it is today. If the last one resonates with you, come and talk to the Coca-Cola Company, join our ecosystem of innovators, and let's partner up for a better shared future. Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. My name is Molun. I'm also with the Coca-Cola Company, as you can see. I'm here on stage to help you with something you may wonder. Who are these people with lanyards? Who are these people with name tags? Well, yesterday, P&G, AB-Inbev, the Coca-Cola Company, we spent the entire day in partnership with Love Tomorrow, in partnership with the EIC, European Innovation Council, to really bring the best of the best startups from Europe and give them a chance to pitch to corporates and ideally scale their solutions. So out of the dozens and dozens of speeches, we've picked out 3 most inspirational, most innovative ones. And we wanted to give them a bigger stage for you guys to also discover them. So I'd like to welcome the next 3 speakers. They are the companies Infoco, No Palm, and Oxylum.
I have no clue if I can see any slides, so if you don't see anything, just let me know. Do I have slides? No slides? Okay. Then I'll just do it without slides. My name is Robert van Tankeren, co-founder and CEO of Infoco. So thank you for this opportunity to pitch our company to you today. I'm here to talk about our unique laser marking technology. Specifically, I want to focus on the marking industry in general. As you may or may not know, ink is the most dominant technology used in the marking industry to date. The problem is, ink is also quite polluting. It requires a consumable, needs nearly continuous maintenance, and the end quality is still quite poor. So in looking for an alternative, the entire market has seen that laser-based marking is the only viable option. But current laser marking technology simply cannot match the speed or the amount of print that inkjet can provide. And this is where my company comes in. With our unique optical technology, we can actually increase the efficiency of that same laser system by several orders of magnitude, by increasing the focus depth of the laser beam. In doing so, we can offer a much larger area in which that laser stays in focus, meaning we can mark faster, more surface, and on top of that, we can do all this just as fast on any kind of curved surface as well. So with that, we focused our attention on building the first viable product. And over the past 5 years, we were actually able to build and functionally test this system. And in the past year, we actually sold several systems currently running at AB-Inbev's facility, where we can mark up to 2,500 items per minute with a unique and scannable QR code. To put that in perspective, that's faster than in the blink of an eye, we can write a QR code on the inside of a bottle cap. So having done that, we can now focus not only on existing applications like writing expiration dates, but we can actually also focus on customization, marketing, data management, and dynamic pricing. So for Coca-Cola, we see opportunities to mark bottle cans, either on the top, the bottom, the side, or even on the pull tab itself. We can also engrave bottles, and we can mark bottle caps, either on the top or on the bottom. For Procter & Gamble, we see opportunities to mark their packaging material either with text or QR code, on both flat and curved surfaces, and on hard-to-reach areas. And on soft plastics, we can actually mark them without damaging the protective nature of the material. So I'm looking forward to exploring with you what potential applications you see for our technology. That's my pitch. Thank you so much for your time. We are Infoco, and this is Light Without Limits.
Hi, my name is Mona Hendriksen, and I'm Business Development and Communications Manager at No Palm Ingredients. And palm oil is a great product. I guess that's not what you expected to hear, but it is. It's cheap, it's versatile, and it's in 60% of all our supermarket products. But there's simply not enough. As the demand for palm oil is expected to rise by 4% annually, we have no strategic way to sustainably supply this demand, as RSPO palm oil cannot fulfill this total future demand. You can imagine what happens next. Prices will increase and shelves will be empty. At No Palm Ingredients, we do have a strategic way to supply this total future demand, and as a bonus, prevent biodiversity loss and CO2 emissions. With our fermentation platform, we can actually make palm oil using yeasts. These wonderful creatures, well, we all know them from making beer, for instance, they can actually make oil. We only have to feed them with sugars, but instead of feeding them with pure sugars like glucose, we feed them with one of society's other problems, food waste. 1/3 of all food that we produce is wasted. And we are taking this and turning it into an opportunity by upcycling it into oils and fats. With our decentralized business model, we aim to build small joint venture production facilities at these food waste locations. And this will enable us to brew oils anywhere around the globe. We've already done several successful pilots with key players in the food and personal care industry, showing them that we can take their waste, such as Unilever's ice cream byproducts, and turning it into oils and fats. Customer feedback shows us we have a real drop-in replacement with added benefits. We have the same functionality, good stability, and less saturated fat than the palm oil reference. We are currently building our first-of-a-kind demo factory, which will be fully operational in 2026. In our collaboration, we protect our partners against the rising prices, we ensure a reliable supply, and we help them lowering their CO2 emissions. For the planet, we are the strategic option. For every kilogram of oil that we produce, we prevent 90% of CO2, and we are saving precious biodiversity hotspots from future deforestation. We are looking for collaborative partnerships with companies looking for oil alternatives, companies looking for a solution to their food waste challenge, and companies with overcapacity on their fermentation lines. Thank you for your attention.
Right. Good morning, everyone. Tomorrowland, right? Everyone enjoying themselves a bit? I will start today with a question. How many of us agree that global warming is one of the defining challenges of our time? Right? Good. That's good. Now a second question. How many of us enjoy having a clean bathroom? Sounds a bit random, right? My name is Bertemot. I'm CEO and co-founder of Oxylum, and in the coming minutes, I will explain you how these two questions are actually related. Let me start with the second question. To clean our bathrooms, we use cleaning products. And in these products, formic acid is one of the most used chemical ingredients. But here's the catch. Virtually all available formic acid today is made from fossil fuels, resulting in millions of tons of CO2 emissions. What's clean for the planet is dirty for your bathroom. At Oxylum, we have developed a novel CO2 conversion process to change this. Using only captured CO2, electricity, and water, our patented electrolyzers convert this into sustainable formic acid, chemically identical but carbon neutral. Now, why would this matter for a corporate like Procter & Gamble? I will give you 3 reasons. First of all, sustainability. We can avoid up to 6 tons of CO2 emissions per ton of formic acid produced. But that's not all. Let's talk about predictability. In the last decade alone, several global events have caused formic acid price peaks of up to 300%. You simply don't know what is going to happen to the price in the next decade. With our process, we can decouple your business from market volatility. And finally, independency. You can use your own CO2 and your own electricity to produce your own chemicals in-house or with a local partner. No more geopolitics. Sustainability, predictability, and independence. That is Oxylum. Since our incorporation in 2021, our amazing team has validated our core technology. We have constructed a kilowatt scale demo unit and we have reached TRL 6. Now we are ready for the next step. Ladies, gentlemen, the reason I'm here today is with a very clear ask. We want to do a pilot together with Procter & Gamble. Our chemicals in your products. With our current demo unit, we are already ready to produce enough formic acid for up to 100,000 bottles per year. So we want to sit together with your scientists to look at the formulations and allow direct implementation of our system in your production. And finally, to top it all off, we want to run an ad campaign together to showcase our collaboration to the world. On the Procter & Gamble website, we can read their ambition to become net zero by 2040. We are here to make that bold ambition a reality. starting today. Let's talk.